Morning, guys. Thanks for letting us stay in your village for a few days. It's been really interesting to blend in and get an idea of your culture and how life really is for you. I guess people study you from the internet, from the other side of the world, and they look at you and think your life is so much different than all of ours. And I guess we're right, it is very, very different. But our lives are also entirely different than yours. Something that people don't really understand is that you're trying to hang on to your culture and don't want to be westernized and don't want to have microwave ovens in your mud huts, and you don't want to have chainsaws to chop things down or have matches to light your fires. I mean, I've noticed that you don't even light a piece of paper to start a fire. You'll start it by using your stick still, or you'll go and steal some fire from the central village fire to light all your ovens. Why is this, teacher, that you want to be able to hang on to your culture so harshly?
Um, Actually, since a long time ago, the Maasai people have been maintaining their culture, and in the whole world, the Maasai are among the people that are still keeping their culture. Although we have tourists visiting the villages and see how the Maasai people are doing, but this one have not really interfere with our culture, because we are trying to maintain our culture, and also at the same time we are also taking children to school. But this one does not really mean that this one will going to change the culture of the Maasai people. So we still want to maintain it uh, till the end.
Sure. So I noticed though, like you've got a lot of these young boys from a very young age of when they can just barely walk. They're herding the goats and the cows and things out into the field. How do you choose what children, let's say, I'm getting the feeling that education is very, very important to you guys. I'm talking among the village people, and that there's a lot of guys 17, 18, 19 years of age, highly intelligent, are ready for university, but they don't have the money to go to university. That must be very frustrating for these guys. For one, they don't have the money, but how do you split the village in half and say, well, the rest of your life, you're going to become a nomadic one, you're going to be becoming the person that herds the cows and the goats, and you're going to become the one that earns the education. How is this given to people, or do you just see the brightest kid amongst them and take them out, or how do you do that?
Um, the Maasai people, they before have never knew anything about education, and now they have started they have started to know a bit the importance of education, and now we have started the schools, because like currently we have a small community school outside the village, and some of the young children are attending the school, and also we have some uh, older boys, about 18, who have finished high school and they are ready to go to universities, and they don't have funds to go to university. This one does not mean that they will not still continue with the normal life. They will also still have to do what is expected of them in the community. And on the other side, also we have those who have not gone to school, and also they will be also capable, or rather they will be looking after the animals, because for one, the animals, if we have animals, that is the what we use to make our daily income, and also food. Because for one, the cows, we milk them, we get the milk, we get the meat, and sometimes even we get blood, whereby we can give to those women who have just given birth. We mix with milk, and there's a good diet for them. So
If I
we
could just pedal back here on the issue you're talking about, milk and blood, mixed blood. A lot of people, let's say around the world, see on the videos and DVDs you mixing up some blood in a gourd. People, when you talk about the Maasai, they think that that's their staple diet. And I mean, to give you an idea of how stupid it is, people think that you guys go and collect live elephant poo, boil it up and drink it and eat it for fibre. These are the stories that people tell, and how you drink the blood and you're like cannibals, if you will. But I'm in your village, I'm with you. It's really quite humbling to see you guys speak 3 different languages. You speak English better than I can. You speak Swahili as well as you speak your own tribal, but you've got an old beaten up shack out the back which you call your classroom with the dirty old tables and things. How is it that you can get these kids that are just rolling in the dirt to a stage of, let's say, your brother who's 18 years of age, who's probably got a higher degree of education than I have, and yet you guys are all just rolling around out here in the middle of the desert? You must be highly intelligent people to be able to network and gather all of this information and come out with a prodigy at the end, or the product of one of these children or groups of these children who are so intelligent. Why is that? How has that become possible?
Yeah, when I go, when I just go back about the milk, we can get the milk and blood. We can get this blood from in 2 ways. We can either slaughter a goat or a cow, then we get the blood. We can also get blood from a live animal, and we just tie the neck. Then we use some bow and arrow. Then we get the blood. We put the blood on the calabash. Then we can use that blood without the animal dying. And the Maasai are the most intelligent people because they are very, very easy to learn. Like the case of the boys that are just about to go to university. They are very, very bright boys, and for the school they have been also the best children. So for the few that have gone to school, they are the very much bright, despite the fact that we stayed in the mud houses, we stay in those dusty classes.
Yeah.
It's really something that's very, very making us go ahead.
Sure. Sorry, we've just got, if you can film onto Joyce. Joyce, come through. This is Benjamin's wife, Joyce. Joyce is just bringing us a cup of tea. So we have cups of tea with is it goat's milk or cow's milk that we drink with our tea?
The cow milk.
The cow's milk.
Yeah.
It's nice. So we'll get on to the ladies and the Joyce and everyone else, but I just think it's an opportune moment to show. Let's jump ahead here for a second. The ladies seem to do most of the work here. The men just seem to sit under the trees and play games, and the men seem to just sit around doing nothing. And I'm not trying to be comical in saying this. If one from the outside walks in, they see these ladies lugging big drums of water, chopping the firewood out in the forest, doing this and that. What is the role of the male compared to the female? You know, this is a pretty long, twisted path that I'm heading down, but let's just define it a little bit. The females, from what I can gather, do the cooking. The females, from what I can gather, go and get the firewood. The ladies go and make the beads. The ladies seem to make the mud huts as well. What do the men do and what do the ladies do? Can we start with perhaps the ladies? Would you like to answer this, or do you want someone else in the village to answer as well? Or you can carry on.
Okay. I think it's not true that the men doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Because
I'm not asking this to be comical, though. I'm just.
They also have some roles.
Yeah.
But you can see that the women have a lot to do because of the housework.
Yeah.
Most of the housework is done by women. That is actually they are almost the first people that wake up in the morning.
And what time is that in the morning that a lady's role begins?
6 a.m.
Yeah.
So the first thing when they wake up, they go and see if all the animals are there. And after that, now they will start milking the cows.
Yeah.
After milking the cows, then now they come to the house and make some breakfast for the children and the whole family.
Yeah.
And make them prepare to go to school for those who go to school.
Yeah.
And for those who don't go to school, they make them prepare to go and look after the animals. Then after that, now he can go back again to the animals and make sure that they're all okay, and he can open the gate for the cows now to go.
Yeah.
Then when the cow have already gone, then he also let the goat and sheep to move outside.
Yeah.
Then after that, now he will be back to the house and do some other works like sweeping the house, fetching the water from the well. Nowadays we are a bit lucky because we have the well just outside the village.
Sure.
There before they used to walk a very long distance to get water.
About 4 kilometers?
Yeah, about
Even
4 kilometers.
More.
And carry with the bucks. And after getting out the water, if they don't have firewood in the house, they will continue and go and get the firewood in the bush. Then later in the day, they can prepare lunch for the children, and now prepare to wait for the animals to come back in the evening. So that's what the women do, and this is their daily activity. Okay. For men, some of the activities is not daily, because what they do, they can also help to design a house when the house is being constructed.
So they design it under a tree?
No, not under a tree, where they design where the house is supposed to be put.
I understand. But they sit under the tree and talk and design and think of ideas under the tree?
Yeah, actually, some...
What are these men doing there? While Mummy and everyone's working, the men are sitting there. I'm just asking.
The men are the people that give out, sit down and think of ideas and what they are supposed to do.
Yeah.
They also look at the sick animal and know which animal is sick, so they can inject it.
Yeah.
Also in the morning, they can the first thing they just walk around and see if there's any danger before the animals move out of the village.
I noticed that yourself and the chief and others go for a walk very early in the morning. From talking to you, you wander around with the big spears while you're out there. Is this to make sure that the area for where the pastoral animals are going, that there's no lions and hyenas and jackals and that type of thing?
Yeah, actually that's why they used to wake up in the morning and see if there's any animals around.
Yeah.
So that when the animals, the domestic animals move out of the village, there will be no any animal that can attack them, like the lions and the elephants and the hyenas.
But it's quite interesting. I mean, we came home 10 o'clock last night. We're in the middle, really, of the arid veldt, and we've got lions just a few meters away from us. You've got hyenas, you've got elephants, you've got giraffes wandering around. It's quite interesting. The kids and everybody else are just living in harmony with all of the wildlife here. It's quite rare that you have attacks here, isn't it, with the lions and things?
The Maasai and the wild animal like one are the same thing. Because we are used to living with these animals. Yeah. I don't think there's people who can really live with wild animals like how the Maasai have been doing for the last years. Yeah. Because you can see that the park boundary is just about 200 meters from here. Yeah. So all the animals from the park come outside of the park to the Maasai land. Yeah. During the night, as you mentioned, that when you're coming to the village, you saw a lot of maybe lions and any other animal. We have the so-called warriors. So it's the duty of the warriors to make sure that there's enough security in the village. Yeah. They'll move in turns during the night to make sure that there's no any wild animal that will come to the village and snatch the animals.
I've spent my life really studying some amazing cultures and some amazing lives, and I've got to say it's really quite interesting to see that you guys don't actually kill the wildlife, and we're out there and we see wild warthogs and we've got donkeys running around, and yet you choose to eat the cow and the goat, whereas there's many other wildlife that you could really eat there if you wish to. But you say in your culture for many, many years, and I guess this is the whole harmony of living together, that there is no preying upon any of these animals, is there, by you guys? You don't go out there and maliciously hunt. You don't go out there and hunt any of these animals for food at all.
The reason why people hunt animal, for one, some hunt for food. Yeah. And we don't hunt the animals because we don't eat wild animals. Yeah. We only eat our own domestic animals that we have them at home. Yeah. And since the beginning, the Maasai have known how to live with the animals. The only animal that they used to kill was a lion, and the lion people used to kill the lion so that maybe you'll be known in the community that you to prove your manhood, and also to make sure that you will go to the next generation, that maybe you're brave person, something like that.
Right.
So that's the only animal that the Maasai used to kill, but they don't kill it for food. They just kill it for other reasons.
Talking to you and like we're sitting here really at the mercy of the gods. You've told me that you've had lions that have come and jumped over the fences here and bitten a donkey, and one of your men, one of your brave warriors, stabbed the lion, which of course you would do if anybody came to rob you in the house. But it's quite interesting. You just, even when we're walking along, you don't stand on a beetle. You're looking at the footprints. You understand you're really in tune with nature, aren't you? It's quite interesting to see how much you really study this earth. You're living like one of the wild animals. Without tongue-in-cheek factor here, you're like one of the wild animals living here, aren't you?
Yeah, we are one thing. The Maasai and the wild animals, we live in the same area, and that's why we even know all the footprints. Like if an animal comes to the village, maybe tomorrow morning we have to know which animal is that, because we know by the footprints. And also we like to know which direction have the animal passed, so that we know there is a danger somewhere.
Sure.
And sort of things. Yeah.
I'm going to touch on a subject that people around the world, and I mean it's put all over the internet, and I'm going to broach the question of circumcision. We understand for male circumcisions, for the Jewish culture and for many other cultures in the Pacific and others within Asia, for the male to have circumcision, it's understandable for cleanliness and that type of thing. For the females, they now call it female mutilation, whereas you have a mummy and a couple of the other ladies from the village remove the genitalia of the female, whereas they take the clitoral and cut with a razor blade the other area. Why is this done, and at what age is it done? And I know it's a pretty delicate subject, but you guys seem very open to talk about it. And this is one question that a lot of people in the world want to ask you, but they're too scared to ask you. So, what age is it done? Can you pace me through this, why it's done and what it's all about, please?
Circumcision is done in the Maasai, we done circumcision for both boys and girls.
Sure.
And for girls, they do at the age of 13 years, and for boys at the age of 14 years. And for girls, is the removal of all the clitoral part of it. And for boys is they just
taking of the sheath over the top.
Yeah.
So if I could just explain to people who might be listening to this, but there's no graphics, for a male, they tie a bit of twine onto the end of the penis sheath, pull it very, very tight, whereas you can feel the muscles inside of you pulling through. Is that right? When you're pulling?
Yep.
And then there is the man there who stretches the head of the penis, making sure that the top of the penis isn't chopped off itself, but the foreskin itself stretched over a log and then hit with a machete or a knife.
Yeah.
And then this is sprung back, and this is then pegged, and the boy is then sent off for a period of time to go and to get himself healing. Is that right?
Yeah.
So what is the healing process of this? What, they put a wooden peg onto there, or how do they do this to stop the bleeding?
When they want to stop the bleeding, they pour the milk on that part. And for girls, it will take about 1 week to get healed.
Yeah.
And for boys, take about 2 to 3 weeks.
Sure.
Yeah.
So with the girls, the mummy gets the razor blade without any anaesthetic, slices the girl's lips and flap area and the clitoral area, and the clitoral muscle is cut out. Is that right?
Right.
And taken away.
Yep.
So the reason that you do this to the females is, why would you do this to the girls? Why?
The reason why we do that to girls is to prove, or rather to make sure that this will make us know that now they are grown-up people and they are ready to be married.
They're adult.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's no spiritual reason, there's no religious reason, there's no medical reason, there's no witchcraft reason. You just do this to make it look clean, or you make it because it's just because you can, or do you do it because you stop the girls from being promiscuous and wanting to enjoy sex?
This one, apart from making them to be the adults, or now they can, because when somebody is circumcised and he's now, he can now make some decision,
Yep.
because he's now an adult.
Yeah.
And for the second reason is because, when a girl is circumcised, he will not be, um, she will not be sexually active all the time. So this one will stop the girl from wanting to.
So, one thing that you mentioned to me, and people have told this to me within the village, you can marry up to 6 times. Is that right? As a Maasai male.
Yeah.
So, if the Maasai daddy has 5 brides, she can only have 1 husband, though. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. And so it's to stop the sexual urge. So, like if you're with this mummy over here tonight, on Wednesday night the other mummy is over in another hut, so she's not sitting there having some sexual frustration. You've been kind to her, more or less, to take that area away so that she's not frustrated and hoping and wishing to have sex, and so that she doesn't go off and have sex with another male as well. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So that's this. So for the male, we take off the sheath. The foreskin comes back for cleanliness, giving him a clean penis. For the female, you take all the genitalia away so that she doesn't have sexual desire, as well as it just proves to everybody else that this lady is ready to have children.
Yes.
Yeah. So what age can the girls start having sex?
They start from the age of 12,
Yeah.
when they're about to get circumcised.
Yeah.
And this one will prepare them to be,
Interested.
to be ready for marriage.
Sure. So there's the story of the young Morans, and I'll talk about Morans soon, but the story of the young Morans where they draw a line in the sand. At night time they can go off and have a field study or an education or night education with the girls. Can you explain that to me? How does this happen?
When a girl is married, we want to, everybody want to marry a girl that is not that's not a virgin,
Ah.
because this one will, for instance, if you marry a girl maybe who is not who is a virgin, maybe this one will bring into the culture. You must take the girl back to be, so that the girl will be, the virginity will be break in his father's village.
Ah.
So this one will now make the girl to be ready to give children.
Mm.
So the reason why they start to have sex when they are still in their parents' houses is to make them prepare.
Ah.
When they get married now, the husband will not have a lot of work to maybe start
To educate her and teach her.
Yeah, and this one is done both for both boys and girls,
Yeah.
and that's why they normally have those small dances in the night.
Yeah.
This will make them train,
Yeah.
and maybe small boys and small girls will sing together and have those sort of training.
Sure. So, sitting here today talking to you about 12-year-old girls having sex and that type of thing, people in the Western world are going to be sitting here going, you pedophiles, you incestual people, you sexual predators, you monsters. But I'm living here amongst you, and I don't see any of that type of thing. I see absolute respect. I see boys and girls more courteous to each other than kings and queens are to each other in public. I mean, you guys absolutely treasure your kids, and I've seen it. I've watched the kids come to you, and you greet them by touching them on the head. But all of you are very, very compassionate, and you're very loving towards each other and very helpful towards each other. It seems to be that your very primitive little network and the way you're doing it, in actual fact, seems to work and seems to be a lot more of a productive way of bringing up people into a world and into life than what we've got back in the Western world. Would you agree with what I'm saying?
Yeah, actually, there's a big respect for the Maasai people, and there's a network between them. And for the young children, they have that kind of respect. When they are greeting somebody, they must greet them with the head. Anybody who is older than you. And when it comes to Sexual issues is very private for the Maasai people. They don't do just things in public. If it is daddy and mommy, they can just do their own things privately, but not expose them when everybody's there, or rather when the children are there. Yeah.
No, I've noticed that, and it's what I'm trying to get at here. Studying your culture and studying you as people, it's humbling. I must say, it's extremely humbling because you're so in tune with nature. You're so educated in life and the values of life and the way it really is. I think the rest of the world's gone mad, and you guys are completely sane. To be quite honest with you, I really agree with what you're doing here and the way you're doing it. I mean, I'm not one to say on the sexual factors, let's leave that one apart, but when you're talking about the way you live in harmony with the world and the way you can eat, sleep and drink and smell things, when I go back into Australia or around the world and I do what you're doing, people think I'm entirely mad and I don't quite fit in. But to me, it's normal because I live with animals too. I've studied animals all of my life. And it's quite interesting, there's probably a lot of people in the world who feel they don't belong out there in the Western world. I think we must have all been Maasai's once in our early lives. But because we all went wrong, we've all gone back to the Western world and into the devil factor. Now, let's touch on the subject of a Moran. Now, this is a pretty special time, and I've watched these proud boys from circumcision stage to having their long hair and dyeing their hair red. Can someone aside of yourself, perhaps one of the other gents, tell us from the time that he is circumcised prior to the circumcision, how is it a Moran developed? Could someone tell us?
Yeah,
Sure.
I can help you. So first of all, is circumcision. If I go back to boys, is a stage of whereby you come from a boy to a man. So this is the time you are done circumcised. And it is not done in only one person. So it's done in a very big group between this clan or any other clan.
So the clans
I
come
can say
together.
the whole community.
Okay.
So it's a very big group of warriors. So and these people are responsible in taking care of the community for security, for the security matters. So and initiation is done. It is done mostly about 15 years. So this is the time a boy is ready now to go for a warrior stage. So after circumcision, a boy is allowed to wear dark clothing.
Sure.
I think maybe you've seen it
I
in
have,
pictures.
yeah.
And this one will take a time until when might be penicillin up. You understand? So and that is about 2 years. Then after that, this is the time they have to remove the black clothing, and then they dress the red. So first of all, the red ochre really protects them in the forest when they go doing their skills. So and by this stage, they start breeding long hairs. So this is how you can easily recognize a warrior. And by that time, a warrior should have a spear, a sword knife, a shield, all these kind of weapons, clubs and so on. So these are for protection.
Sure.
So and so the warrior should start that role for some years, about 10 to 15 years. And then after that, they cut off their hairs. Then they go to junior elders. So this is the stage whereby most of the warriors are wanted to get married.
So how can a Moran do all of this fearless hunting and exploring the nature and the desert and the forest and up in the top of Killer Hill? How can he go to school and do that as well? Can this be done?
Okay, yes, it can be done because culture, so we feel that our culture is very important. That's why we are conserving it. And when children go to school, when they come back in the village for holidays, they have to do what the normal thing we do. So not wasting or not leaving the culture behind. So although it's a little bit there are some skills
Yeah.
whereby you cannot do, like going for hunting, because when you go to school, then you don't have time
Yeah.
to go hunting, maybe kill a lion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although nowadays it's very strict in the government,
Of course.
so I think it will that will come to an end.
Yeah.
So
So let me ask you this: with the Moran,
Yeah.
you guys have all got a missing bottom tooth.
yeah,
Do you knock that tooth out when you become a Moran, or does somebody do this when you're 1 or 2 years of age when
yeah.
they dig the root out?
We do this one when children are young.
Yeah.
So and as we live mostly in the dense forest and maybe very far away from facilities of treatment.
Yeah.
So it happened a long time.
Sure.
I had just that by story that there was an outbreak kind of disease whereby people became sick and kind of lockjaw.
Yeah.
So this was to save people of first aid. So and then after
Sorry,
that
I've
time,
lost you there for a second.
What?
When the people become sick?
Yeah, so there was an outbreak a long time.
Yes.
ago,
Yeah.
Whereby people faint and
Yeah.
lock the jaw.
Yeah.
So there's no way you can save a person quickly.
Yeah.
Instead of passing some
Ah.
traditional medicine or
Yeah.
maybe liquid things
Yeah.
in the mouth.
Yeah.
So it's just to pass in there.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So but it came to be a tradition.
Yeah. So when they get tetanus,
What?
tetanitis,
Yeah.
tetanus is what causes the locking of the jaws.
Uh-huh.
Then you'd be able to put the medicines
Exactly.
through there.
Yeah.
Something else it's quite clever what you've done
Yeah.
though. In Australia or around the world, when kids get with the wisdom teeth, you know the teeth that grow at the back.
Yeah.
You guys are actually taking the front tooth out, and I've noticed in a lot of you that the teeth have grown and the gap has closed.
Yeah.
Because the wisdom teeth have grown through.
Uh-huh.
To have your wisdom teeth grow through in Australia, you might as well die instead of having your wisdom teeth out, because you can't eat, you can't think, you can't do anything,
Yeah.
and they become rotten.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's quite interesting what you've done there. Something else I notice a lot of you have got, like the chief has got here on him, you've got the circles on your faces, and some of the young boys and girls have got them even at 3 and 4 and 5 years age. What is these round circles on the face
So
that are burnt on?
these are little tattoos.
Yeah,
So first of all, we believe it's a beauty,
sure.
and that's how you can recognize a Maasai, even if he's
Yeah.
dressing like
Yeah,
that gentleman there.
Yeah.
You see, he has
yeah,
this thing.
yeah.
So and also people believe that it helps in eye problem.
Oh, okay.
Protect, yeah.
Yeah,
So that's the reason.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it prevents them from having glaucoma or cataracts and that type of thing.
Yeah.
I have noticed that, like Jackson's father, he must be what, 86? Is he older than 86?
Yeah.
You've got a lot of very old people in the village, so you must be doing something right, because people are living to 80 and 90 years of age.
Yeah.
And one mummy who's nearly 90 years old
Yeah.
is wandering by, carrying everything, singing, laughing, having a good joke with everybody.
Yeah.
It's really interesting
Yeah.
how everybody is so healthy
Yeah.
and so energetic
Yeah.
and so loving.
Yeah.
You can be up singing and talking about past tales of the lions and other factors,
Yeah.
singing until 1 o'clock in the morning. 6 o'clock in the morning, you're up bright and early, ready, milking cows,
Yeah.
building huts, doing everything.
Yeah.
You must be incredibly strong people.
Yeah, I think so. I think
Yeah.
so. That is very true, and I think this one is caused by happiness,
Sure.
because people are very happy,
Yeah.
and people stay loving each other.
Yeah.
Like the old man,
Yeah.
most of the time, you find young men coming around him, talking with him, and talking. Past thing and new thing.
Yeah.
So you cannot become frustrated in mind.
I
So-
noticed, like, a couple of the blind people here,
Yeah.
they have like a 2-year-old that's holding them by the hand and guiding them around. You know,
Yes. Yeah.
in our Western culture, we just get our parents
So
and,
the old
and
old
ship them off
people
to a
are not-
nursing
yeah,
home.
the old people are not just left behind,
No,
because these are the most respected people.
yeah,
There's no way we could live here without them.
No.
See?
And
And we
they
have
carry-
more advices, very good advices from these old people.
and I see they're bringing the culture and they're talking to the old people and bringing the culture on.
Yeah.
And I'll reiterate on what I said before. I think the world has gone mad, and you guys are entirely correct. I'm noticing a lot of you guys have got great big holes in your ears,
Yeah.
and you have all sorts of beads and things hanging from them,
Yeah.
like Chief Jackson here.
Uh-huh.
When Chief Jackson's got his ears,
Yeah.
he's looking like a fierce warrior though, because you can tell when you're walking with Jackson in the jungle or walking in the desert.
Yeah.
Jackson is a really in tune, very, very quick, smart man, you know,
Yeah.
bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
But he's got his long earrings and things hanging down.
Yeah.
Jackson, maybe you can tell us, why do you have these beads and what does it all mean, please? Jackson, can you tell us why you would have the earrings and the long ears? What does that all mean? Yeah.
So this I think so that for the Maasai people to look at the ears,
Yeah.
small knife.
Yeah,
So I think that I think this is something to use before
sure.
and Maasai culture.
So they use it in the culture to earn money, or they do it spiritually, or they do it because it looks pretty, or...
Not for money, and I think from the belt, I think this is something to use before, but I don't know for my parents to do that before,
Yeah,
but not for money.
yeah.
Just for pretty.
Just for pretty
Yeah,
decoration.
yeah, it has. It also has a
like this-
significant.
Yeah,
And behind very, very long time. So there was more conflict between tribes.
yeah,
This is due to cattle raiding, because it used to happen, mostly cattle raiding.
the cattle raiding.
Yeah, it used
Yeah,
to happen
yeah, yeah.
maybe behind 60 years ago,
Yeah, yeah.
70 years ago there.
Mhm.
So we just got that by story.
Yeah,
So, and many people were, especially African people, they're almost the same.
Yeah, of
So
course.
there's no way you can recognize your partner.
yeah.
So the only way you can differentiate is by seeing the...
Different earrings.
Yes.
Yeah,
So they sat down and decide that this is the way we can do now.
yeah,
Because sometimes when there is fighting, people kill each other
Yeah,
because they
yeah.
never know who is who.
yeah.
So so this is a one way of recognizing people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
I see also on Chief Jackson's arms he has like the burn marks and this type of thing.
Yeah.
And burn marks here. I'm told that's because you're getting yourself ready and prepared for the pain of circumcision, because you can't, when the male is circumcised, he cannot blink, flinch, cry, he cannot pass wind even.
Yes.
He
of
must
course.
be very strong warrior.
Very strong.
Yeah.
You cannot shake, because if you shake,
Yeah,
then there's no party which is going on by that day.
Yeah.
So people will take you as a very coward boy.
yeah,
So and then everybody will not become there. So,
So-
before circumcision,
Yeah.
so this is a stage whereby you have to pass. This is burning.
yeah,
So we do it by what we do.
yeah, when you start the fire.
The sticks.
Yeah,
Then when the sticks, when we rub the two sticks,
Yeah.
and when they become very hot,
yeah,
then you have to wait because it's very
Yeah.
hot, and then
yeah,
they put 1, 2, 3.
yeah.
So that when that is. So if you can resist, then
Yeah.
you are ready for circumcision. It's
okay.
very painful actually,
Yeah,
because there's no injection
no, I understand that.
when in
Yeah.
time of circumcision.
Yeah,
It's just a plain knife.
Yeah.
That's all.
all right. Look, I mean, there's so many questions that people are going to want to know around the world, and people want to know things, and I guess, you know, it's very rude of us to come into your life and ask so many questions,
No,
but
it's not rude.
I think you enjoy telling us and enjoy letting us know what the world really wants to know about you guys.
Yeah.
I mean, we also have the medicine man who I met the other day. You've got this myriad of bits of dust and rocks and little bits of twig and things.
Yeah.
You even there the other day were cooking up after the culling of the goat.
Yeah.
You're cooking up his head. You're cooking up his hooves.
Yes.
I see the young Moran guys are so proud. The warriors are
Yeah.
there with their swords and
Yeah.
cooking up this special soup with little bits of roots and everything.
Yeah.
Then all the boys and the men go and drink this soup.
Yeah.
Is that like a ritual or what is this?
First of all, we believe that this kind of herbs really helps,
Yeah,
and we believe that's why people are very strong.
yeah.
It's very hard to find very fat people, especially in
Yeah.
our communities.
Are you saying I'm fat?
Yeah, you're fat. You are fat. Yeah, you see?
Yeah. But
So,
look, I had a taste of this stuff. I mean, it would kill a brown dog.
Yeah.
Is that why you don't have any brown dogs here? But maybe because this soup I'm looking at it and thinking, I can't afford to get sick. I've got 3 flagyl tablets left, and I can't afford to get Giardia or Jardinella Virginella or Candida from this wicked soup. And yet you guys all drink it, and you're up earlier than me and fitter than me, and I'm sick in the room still, and I didn't drink the soup.
Very much, very much.
Yeah.
So so these herbs really help.
Yeah.
A lot, we don't have most problems like arthritis. People having arthritis.
No.
It's not easy.
I see some mummies here, a few blind and from cataracts, which I understand, and we've got the medical units that can come and help with cataracts and things.
Yeah.
But you guys are in supreme
So
condition.
that's the only thing I think it's hard to do, like the cataracts.
Cataracts.
Yeah, it's not easy for us
Well, you
to do,
can't
like,
burn that out with the stick.
no,
No.
no.
So,
That's very hard.
but look, I mean, that's one thing. But you guys are really, really proud of your culture. But if you met Jackson on the streets in Australia, he looks like an absolute fearsome warrior. He looks like something out of Once Were Warriors in New Zealand, sort of like a New Zealand warrior.
Yeah.
Between African, but
Yeah.
I muck around with Jackson all the time, and you know he doesn't have a malice bone in his body, and I try to annoy him and things, and he's very peaceful, you know.
Yeah.
You know, and I look at him, and I can see looking into his eyes, he's thinking, I just want to kill you, beat it. What are you doing here, you white boy? But to my face and to me, it's so good and brings me medicines if I need it, or some fruits or a cup of tea.
Yeah.
You guys look fierce, you know,
Yeah.
but you're most loving, peaceful people I've ever met in my life.
Of course, yes.
And I think it all comes from the whole family unit.
That's why
and everything.
you find Maasais are still living in communities.
Yeah.
In Kenya we have 42 tribes.
Yeah.
And you cannot find people who are staying like this in groups or in clans or something like that. But people, Maasai people love each other.
Sure.
They need to share something little.
Yeah.
If it is cows, you see,
Yeah.
like when they roast meat here, they just sit circle.
Yeah.
Everybody will take a bite.
Yeah. But I see when we're roasting the meat up there, when the young Morans are cooking the legs of the goat and the neck and the ribs, only the males can do this. The females cannot watch some of this.
When you are a warrior, it's a traditional. A tradition that a warrior should not eat with women.
Yeah.
And this is to make them get far a little bit, so that they cannot get used to ladies.
Ah,
You
so,
know,
so what you're saying is they have to look after themselves. So
to become strong,
Yeah.
to defend the community. That's the
so
reason.
don't tell me how to boil the water.
So, but now I'm an elder.
Yeah.
So I'm a father of somebody. So
Yeah.
we sit with ladies here, and my wife and other people, and
But
because we have graduated from warriorhood to
Yeah, I understand.
elders.
And you've done your time, so
Yes,
that's why you're
exactly.
sitting under the tree waiting to die.
They
But
don't
the
sit
trouble
under
is you're
tree.
living to 80 or 90 years old, man. We have to change it. I noticed there's about 45 different families around the whole of the area here.
Yeah.
We have 4 prominent families in your village here. To stop incest and to stop inbreeding and all these types of things, I noticed that you go off and you select yourself a pretty bride from another village
Exactly.
and you bring her here.
Yeah.
So to go and buy a bride would cost how many cows?
So we usually give out 5 to 6 cows.
Yeah.
It's not a term of payment.
Yeah.
This is just a present to the family of the daughter, especially the lady, the wife,
Yeah.
the woman,
Yeah.
the mother of the lady.
Yeah.
So and after that, then the ceremony, big ceremony, is prepared before the lady comes from another village. And you should always marry from a different clan.
Yeah. I've noticed that. If someone can't afford to, if he falls in love with a girl from another village but he can't afford, you have several payment systems, yeah? So like you can owe some cows, you can owe a wedding. Can you explain that to me?
I mean, if you don't have enough
If you
cows,
haven't got, if I fell in love, if I was, let's say, a young Moran, and I found myself a new wife over in the next village, up in Kala here, I'm looking for another wife, but I don't have 4 cows to give her. How do I arrange that? What do I do?
What normally happens is that now the family will come and sit down together.
Yeah.
Now that so and so boy want to marry and doesn't have enough, maybe the family doesn't have enough money or enough cows to pay for the dowry. What are we going to do? If at all the other family members will get some cows to help him pay for the dowry, that will be good.
Yeah.
Then if that will not be possible, then there is something. It's like an installment.
Yeah.
We can negotiate with the bridegroom family.
Yeah.
Then we can pay 2 cows or 3 cows for the first time. Then you'll be paying slowly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have a payment system.
Yeah, and also the other thing is that arranged marriage.
Yeah.
So in Maasai tradition, mostly sometimes you can marry somebody to whom you don't really know,
Yeah.
especially the first wife.
Yeah.
So the parents decide, mostly they decide
Yeah.
that. But if you wish to have the second wife, so they let you decide for yourself because
Yeah.
they say you are capable of.
Of course.
knowing-
So the
knowing
first
all
mummy.
these things.
So, what happens if Dad comes home with some ugly heifer for you? And there's no chemistry. I mean, I couldn't imagine something worse than my mother bringing me home some girl that I don't want to be with, and she doesn't want to be with me. You don't even have divorce.
Sometimes it happens that you can marry somebody to whom maybe you don't like.
Yeah. Or you can't fit her through the door or something like that.
Yeah, but before that, you have a chance of might be talking with your father
Yeah.
because your father will inform you that okay, I'm preparing for
Yeah.
you a lady from
Yeah,
somewhere,
sure.
from a different clan.
Yeah.
So and sometimes they can go out and go and look at him.
Yeah.
Say,
So if
"Okay,
you
it's
go over
okay."
there peeping at Maasai Mauli
If
over
she's
there,
if she's not really good, sometimes they can come to my daddy.
okay.
Say, "Oh, please find another one."
it just brings me back to something else here. Circumcision.
Yeah.
If a girl's at 13 and she says to you, Daddy or Mummy, I don't want to have my genitalia removed, what would happen there?
So it's not easy for that because it's something which everybody knows that we should pass.
Yeah.
Although now the government is
Yeah.
is very strict about that. I think maybe in the coming years
Yeah.
it will end completely.
I think also talking to a few of your modern guys, I mean, we're talking with Benjamin, we're talking with Jackson.
Yeah.
You guys are saying that you're not going to circumcise your daughters.
Really, yeah, because now
Yeah.
you know when you go to school,
Yeah.
you really learn more about a lady,
Yeah.
and I think like circumcision. Even right now, this guy Jonathan here,
Yeah.
so he's working in an NGO,
Yes.
the AMREF.
Yeah.
So most of them now they're teaching people about
Yeah.
problems of circumcision
Yeah.
and problems which can be
I
caused
mean,
by
it
circumcision. So-
creates more problems than not. I mean, you've got the girls where they've been circumcised, and then when it all heals over, if they're going to have a baby, their head rips and tears the area that has grafted before.
Mm-hmm.
So it's creating a lot of problems, really, isn't it?
It's true.
It's more than there is. So
Yeah,
getting the feel from talking to you guys,
Yeah.
you're steering away from that part of the culture. You've kept everything else intact, but the mutilation of female genitalia, which is something that the world are condemning anyway.
Yeah.
And I keep looking up here at the acacia tree with the thorns, where they put the thorns through in some cultures into the girl so that it'll heal properly after this. So if I can say anything about your culture and where you're heading, the only part that I don't really get is the female circumcision. I don't get that bit at all. But talking to you guys, and a lot of them have said, okay, from now on we're not going to do this because of these various issues. We're educated about this.
Yeah.
But we feverishly want to hang on to the rest of what our life is about. I think the rest of the world should get behind you guys and really applaud what you're doing and help you guys to stay as Maasai and to help yourselves stay cultured. People like myself and obviously Callie and others that have come in here and put boars in, and Callie by buying cattle for you and now putting a school in here with her school. These things are fine attributes to you, but you guys can govern and pick what you're doing. I think you're a lot more clever than the rest of the world anyway. I think some of you should be the Prime Minister of the rest of the world to teach the rest of the world how to really live, because you've got this fine balance of harmony of the wildlife, of your culture, of how it is in the Western world with your world. I mean, like I said before, you guys are speaking better English than I can, and you guys have got a fine view on the world. You're very balanced. Will I be right in saying that?
Yeah, I think you're right with what you're saying, because we are really looking on what that will benefit the Maasai people for the coming generation.
Yeah.
Like when it comes to culture, we want to maintain our culture, but at the same time, we look or what is not good for the people. As he has mentioned about Jonathan, Jonathan is volunteering in an NGO called AMREF. He's dealing with he's a medical NGO.
Yeah.
He have not gone to college to learn about, but he have been trained as a volunteer to make sure that he look in the issues of the Maasai. And they have been teaching about the circumcision for the girls.
Yeah.
And actually, the reason why we are trying to look much on the circumcision for girls, whether we are going to stop it or not, is because of now how the world is going. Like there's the case of the HIV and AIDS and other STIs.
Sure.
So and that one, the circumcision of girls mostly will it might
Prompt it.
trap it because of those kind of
Getting semen into the bloodline.
maybe when giving birth to a child and maybe being attended by maybe a person who is HIV positive or something like that, then it will also be another problem.
Yeah.
So we were, according to what we have been taught and also what we are thinking of, maybe circumcision for girls, it will not be something that is going to interfere with our culture, and this something also will save the people.
Yeah,
because
will enhance it.
so we are trying to weighing on things and see that this one will going to take us to this side, and this one will not help us, and this one will help us.
Yeah.
If we leave this one, it will be a problem for the Maasai people. So we want to know that those things that really help the people and those things that will not help the people or rather will bring some other problem to the
I mean,
community.
I walk into your village. I mean, I've been doing what I do and rebuilding villages and working with wildlife and things for probably the best part of 30 years. If I hadn't had the experience that I've got of playing in people's villages and lives, you know, it'd be very easy for me to walk in here with a 16 kVA generator with some alkaline pipes and run pipe all the way through and have running water for you all, have electricity for you all, and do all these things. These are not the things that you guys want at all. You really just want to stay basic and stay exactly where you are, but you just want to have something on the side that can give you a little bit of money. Like 2 years ago, you lost 200 or 300 cattle because of the massive droughts. You lost elephants and giraffes and zebras and wildebeest, and even warthogs died out there because there was no water. But you just need that little something to supplement your income. I don't see you guys standing there with your hand out to the UN or to the government looking for money. You're far too proud for that. In fact, you're here, you know, if there's, I saw a guy with a piece of broken mirror the other day, and he broke it into 4 pieces and gave everybody a little piece of mirror so that they could see to shave themselves. I thought, oh boy. I think, oh my God, you've 7 years bad luck, you've just broken a mirror. He's like, no, 4 people's good luck, because now we share the mirror amongst us, you know. So you turn something negative into a really positive factor. But for someone like myself, or for Kelly to walk in here and build you a school and do this and do that, that's not what's needed here at all, is it? All you really need is just somebody to be your best friend. Come in here, listen, we can put a school here, we can teach the kids over here. If we're going to build a resort or build something that people from the Western culture want to come in and view your lives and have a look, you're not on display like a museum, but you're really happy to share and to show people what you're doing, because you're quite conscious of how people look at you from the outside as well, I believe.
Exactly.
You know, like I see everywhere it says don't photograph Maasai's in the hotels, this and that, you know.
Yeah.
Because you're very private and very special people. You're not here on display like wild animals, because you're not. You're very private and very, very special people. But look, all I can say is thank you from the bottom of our hearts and from the rest of the world for letting us come into your village and to come and talk to you and understand how we can better help you. I don't think you can help me, but I can't help you, but I think you can help me and the rest of the world understand where the hell we've all gone wrong. You know, you guys don't even want to have motor vehicles. You don't want to have anything to do with the outside world, because it's really the devil outside, whereas you guys are like the living harmony. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, thank you. We can all go and have breakfast now, a cup
Thank
of
you.
tea and some fruits. And I just one last thing. I noticed you guys, and I said to you when I first came in, you haven't got any nice vegetable patches growing or anything like that. But Benjamin said we don't have any room for the elephant to come through the gate to come and eat all the vegetables. So you'd have all the animals lining up outside, coming in, wanting to eat all your vegetables. So it'd be very simple to come in here and put a nice big vegetable garden in. But as you were saying, you're a nomadic people, you are graziers, and normally you would leave the mummies in the camp, and the men would go off and go and graze the animals and come back after the droughts and come back to this area. So again, thank you for letting us into your lives and letting us come and share what really goes on in the world of a Maasai. So let's hope we can all stay good friends and work to a better future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you also for thank you also for being with us for the time that we've been here. We have we also really appreciated your visit and staying with us in the village.
Sure.
Because actually not everybody will come and volunteer him or herself to stay in this muddy area with a lot of dusty and a lot of smoke, because I understand maybe you're not used to because of you know, the beds and sort of things, but because of the love you have to the Maasai people and how we want to have the Maasai people, we are now like one family. So we also thank you very much, Tony, Kelly, and Nathan, for being with us, and we're very much happy. Thank you for that.
I think instead of circumcision in Australia for young boys, which they don't do very often these days, they should perhaps send them into the Maasai village so that they can come and learn to be warriors and how to look after their families and how to look after and respect their culture. I think the world has gone mad, and you guys are really, you're on top of it. So thank you.